This is Art from Earth. Today I'm going to show you what I've learned about using tabs in LightBurn. I've brought these part layouts into LightBurn, and I'm going to select one and move it over into the cutting area. And then if I have the lower left corner selected, I can use these coordinates to place it in the same spot every time when I'm cutting the other ones. If you double click on the cutout layer, it'll bring up the layer dialog. If you have tabs and bridges selected, then you can change the size and the spacing and the number of tabs per piece. And you just need to kind of play around with these a little bit. You can increase or decrease the spacing here, or you can go down here and increase the number of tabs per piece. I'll decrease this a little bit. It automatically changes your tabs. Even spacing. I could put 4. If I pick manual here, it'll remove all the tabs, and I like to do this manually because it lets me place them where I want them. I like to try to get these near the corners, and especially if I've got a long thin area, so it kind of keeps it from warping when it gets cut out. So just click to place tabs wherever you want them. And you can move them just by grabbing them and sliding them. They'll stay on the line. Small rounded shapes like these only need 3 or 4 tabs a piece. Now if you double click this layer, it'll show all the tabs and bring up the dialog box. And then we can adjust the cut power of these tabs a little bit. If it's at 0, it will leave a blank space there where the tab is. And you can double check that by clicking the preview button here. And then if you zoom in, you can see where that tab is. If we double click that layer again and bring up the dialog box, we can adjust that cut power. And if we put 30% in, you'll have to zoom in to see this now, but the laser is going to pulse where that tab is. So you have to play with these settings a little bit and find a power level that will give you just the right amount of cut through, depending on how many passes you take to cut through. Well, let's cut this now, and you can see that even though the pieces are up above the honeycomb on these spacers, they're staying in the piece that they're being cut out of. That mouth dropped through a little bit, so I need to either adjust the size of my tab or the power level. And now you can flip it over and see where the tabs are. And some of them will just pop right out, and others you need to just cut that tab a little bit, and the piece will come right out of there. And you'll be able to see that once I take this piece out, that the tab does not go all the way through the piece. It's kind of just pulsed a little bit and left just a little bit of material at the back. So by adjusting the power level, I can get more or less tab left on that piece. And I probably need to leave a little bit more on these. Depends on your material and the thickness and the number of passes that you're using to cut stuff out. So you can see that the back side of this cut through pretty cleanly without any real flashback because I had this raised up off the honeycomb, but I need to use those tabs to keep things from dropping down before they're cut out. So now we can put these together and see if they fit. And if you want to see this completed piece, subscribe and watch for the next video. Thanks for watching.